Hi and welcome back. We're now halfway through the workshop. So we are going to Module 3. In Module 2 we've started with the conceptual understanding, the statement of inquiry, the grasped authentic task. We've started to build a unit plan. So you might have downloaded or not the MYP unit planner, which is blank, and the annotated one. If you didn't, now would be the time to do it. And you'd see that there are many parts which we can already fill based on what we've done in Module 2. So I'm going to take a look at it with you. So if I go to the inquiry section, establishing the purpose of the unit, we have identified a key concept, related concepts, a global context which helped us to do the statement of inquiry, and we've made statements of inquiries. So here in the statement of inquiry, you can also put the conceptual understanding if you want, and then the statement of inquiry, or only the statement of inquiries. So that's something we want to fill out for now. So that part we've done already. The inquiry questions will go back later. If you go on page 2, the summative assessment, the outline of the summative assessment tasks would be what you've written with the grasped model. So you just put it there. And then we are going to fill out the objectives and the relation between the task and the approaches to learning, I would say teaching within the task that we're going to put a focus on. So that's something we want to fill with Module 3. And we'll go back afterward for the rest of the unit plan, which we'll finish by the end of the workshop. So let's go back to Module 3. If I take a look at the Learning Engagement 2 at first, perhaps, you'll see, going back to the mathematics guide, that you have the objectives. If I take here, you select the right year, let's say year 1, you have your criteria, so A, B, C, D. So I have to identify which one is going to be evaluated within your task with the grasp. It was written here, like which criteria would be evaluated, so that refers to the criteria here. And then you have the objectives and the strands, which would be here, like the I, 1, 2, 3, like in Roman numerals. So we have to identify which strands are evaluated. Most of the time, we want to be able to evaluate the whole criteria, because we have to evaluate each criterion 2 times a year with all of the strands. But if you would go in the criterion D, let's say that you have 4 evaluations, and for one evaluation you don't ask your students to explain the degree of accuracy or if the solution makes sense. It doesn't really mind. Then you just identify which strands you are evaluating within your task. So that's something which can be done. Okay, so you just make sure that you take the right year, and you understand that at the beginning of year 2 you might you are trying to get to year 3 descriptions throughout the second year, so that in year 3 you're really evaluating with year 3 criteria. So you can try to add, okay, from one year to the other. Then if I take a look at Learning Engagement 1 and 3, they both refers to approaches to learning. The ATL skills appendix are from the MYP from principles into practice. So you really want to take a look at these. There are many, what's in gray here, this is a category of the ATL skills, and then you have the clusters, the ATL clusters, which we call, and then you have the indicators. So let's say in the thinking category, they are the critical thinking skills, which would be the cluster, and then you have many indicators. Then these were thinking skills. Somehow there is more to it. We're missing two actually here. So I'm gonna put the right document into here. Okay, I'm gonna change the document because somehow, for some reason, I don't seem to have the right one. We're missing the last two pages, the 9th and 10th clusters. So I'll do it right away afterward. So I'm sorry for that. Then in the Learning Engagement 3, you want to focus on one ATL, which for the students to develop this skill within your unit plan. So depending on what year you're at, you might not do the same teaching. If you are in year 1, perhaps you are trying to show the students how to use these skills, and then you want perhaps to accompany them, to help them for the use of these new skills that they are developing. Once they have seen these skills, when another teacher or yourself go back with that skill later, then the main objective should be to remind them how to use these skills, and then to let them use the skills on their own. And then we have like the final achievement level where we expect the students to do it right. So we just have to state that within that activity, we are going to evaluate that particular skill. And then it's more like with the evaluation, if the students did not show the right use of that skill, then we can go back with that student on that skill. So, but we expect them to be experts at that point. So it's an approach where we develop the skills through the years, and it's a teamwork. All of the indicators will be shared within the school from all of the teachers for all of the years, over all of the years and over all of the subjects. So that's why you don't want all of the teachers developing the same skills. So we are identifying the skills which we're focusing on, so that we can coordinate like the work of everyone within the school. So that's the third learning engagement. Then the fourth is just a little activity where you just comment like on a few words that you might or not find difficult. So that's something you want to do also. And then the fifth one, including all learners forum, it's getting to the differentiation. So you are just like exploring the needs of students in the classroom. They refer to the MYP from principles into practice, but and on page 27 of that guide, they refer to another document which they've published, which is Meeting Students Learning Diversity in the Classroom. So you can refer to that as well. Okay, so that is pretty much the overview. You understand that the part with the ATL skills, there are precisions within the forum, and also to understand what we expect. And then when you are going to list, like the content is pretty easy. You have chosen that before. You could already write it down. And then when you are going to put the learning teaching strategies and apply differentiation, then the idea here to explore the documents is to have ideas on how to fill these. And then you have the resources, of course, and the reflection prior, during, and after teaching. So that's pretty much the unit plan. So since the main goal is to fill this out, even though if you are late at that point, you understand that it's something which can be done. You just have to go and understand all of the parts of the unit plan. And the reason why we are doing that, I remind, as I said in my message, is that we want to implement all of the aspects of the IB, let's say, education or philosophy, and we are bound by standards and practices. So in order to plan well all of these aspects, the unit planner is to just help us like consider all of the aspects, and also to, when we show these documents to the visitors, then they can assess if the teachers are really taking the IB philosophy into account. So that's why we do it. So thanks again, and you can ask me questions along the way and continue your reflection into building your unit plan. So thank you.